welcome to our first South Oklahoma City Senior Living Truth Series. I am so excited that you're here. I want to know, yes, let's clap for that. That's great. Thank you. We have a lot of people who have been coming to our North Side seminar series that's been going on forever and ever, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I'm so thankful to see some familiar faces in the room, and I'm thankful that you drove south of I-40, because I know when you live north of I-40, you don't come south of I-40 very often, so I appreciate you guys. So I do want to see a show of hands. Who has never been to a Senior Living Truth Series event ever? Yeah.
Wow.
That is amazing. I am so glad to have you, and my friends that know us and have been coming, please tell someone who you saw raise their hand what a great event this is, and let them know about it, and maybe one reason why you come back again and again. So I first want to thank Moore Norman Technology Center. They are providing the coffee and the water and the hot chocolate and the hot tea, and that is phenomenal. So can we just give Moore Norman a hand? Yeah. We are so thankful to be here in their beautiful facility, and I'm just so excited to share this with you guys, and they invited us, so we were so thrilled to be invited to come down here, and you guys showed up, and I appreciate you. Let me tell you a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about Senior Living Truth Series for just a minute, if that's okay, because we're very different than most seminar series. Many times you go to a seminar, and someone is there for the purpose of selling you something. And you oftentimes learn some information, but really you know that person is hoping that you're going to buy what they're selling. The Senior Living Truth Series is not that. We are supported by education partners. Our education partners are around the corners, the sides of the room. And actually, guys, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and find a seat, because they're here to learn too. So our education partners are members of the community, business owners in the community that are also committed to making sure that you have access to helpful education. So what I'd like for you to do after we get done is to go and visit with them and hear about who they are. And here's what you won't find on their table. You will not find a sign-up sheet. They are not here to have you sign up for something and call you later. That is not the purpose. They are here to answer questions and make sure that you have access to good information. What you will find at their table, and why I definitely want you to go and visit with them, is each one is required to bring a piece of education. So something that they have found that they think would be helpful educationally for you. I also want to make sure that you know that your information, when you sign up for Senior Living Truth Series, does not get given I'm also a local business owner, and your information doesn't go into my database. That your information stays private, and it is within its own Senior Living Truth Series database. No one is going to call you and try and ask you to buy something. So this is a place of learning and a place of community support and growth. So I'm so excited that you're here. Senior Living Truth Series was started 10 years ago by Chris and Nikki Buckaloo, primarily in North Oklahoma City, and for the purpose that they felt like the community needed good, clear information. Sorry. They never give me a clicker because I'm real bad at it. So Chris and Nikki started it, and then they have lots of things that they do, and they felt like they would like to find someone to kind of pass that baton to. And I'm a real estate agent by trade. I specialize in helping seniors downsize. And my husband has an estate planning law firm here in South Oklahoma City. And so they reached out to us, and we started having that conversation. I stepped into ownership of Senior Living Truth Series in January of 2025, still working very closely with Chris and Nikki. So this has been a labor of love for all of us, but the Senior Living Truth Series has been around for 10 years. Now, this is my husband, Roberto, and he is going to tell you about some of our upcoming events, because we want you to know that there are things coming that might be interesting to you as well.
And before I get started on the slide, as a reminder, if you've not been to this facility before, if you need to go to the restroom, it's on either side, right? So both men's and women's are on both sides of this room, as well as if it looks like there was a lot of people who raised their hands, so you've not been to the north side, but I think we have some north siders here. If you've been to the north side, you're accustomed to hearing the bell ring about an hour in, right? That's not going to happen here, all right? So we're not going to hear, people are not going to be switching classes. So if the bell does ring or alarm does ring, then it probably is an emergency, and we'll take care of that at that point.
We say that because in North Oklahoma City, when the bell rings, we tell you to stay seated.
Yes.
But if the bell rings today, we will not be staying seated. We're going to go outside. Cool?
Okay. Awesome. All right. So with that out of the way, we do want to tell you about some upcoming events, right? So we do have this event today, but we also want to let you know that we've referenced the North Side event every month. And now that one is every month, right? This one will be quarterly on the big workshops, but that one is every month. The next one that we're going to have is on Thursday, February 5th. All right. And that one is going to be the truth about calling 911, when to dial, when to wait, and how to be ready. So if you've got time, I believe there is a place on your form to sign up for that. And we definitely encourage you to go to that one. So the next event that we're going to talk about is the truth about property taxes, where your money actually goes. That will be the next big one here at this facility. Now that one's Thursday, April 2nd. All right, so put that on your calendar. We'd love to have you back.
I've heard Larry Stein is coming to that one.
Have you? Mm-hmm. All right, and so that's going to be fun, right? So ask him all the hard questions as to why your property taxes keep going up, right? So let's bombard him. But yeah, that will be the next big event here at this facility. And then the next one will be, so in addition to our big events that we have at both here and Francis Tuttle on North Rockwell, each education partner gets to have their events, and we do promote that within the SLTS on those Thursdays that we do get to meet. So the one that we're going to talk about here is the community tour, the acclaimed senior living.
Could I say something about a community tour?
Absolutely.
So community tours are great because even if you're one of my friends that says, I'm never moving to a community, I'm not interested in that, I highly encourage you to consider going on a community tour, because what I will say is that in the event that doesn't become a reality for you, maybe a health event occurs or something, it's just as important to know, a plan B as it is to hold tightly to that plan A, right? So visiting these communities with us is a really low pressure way to see what's out there.
So, all right, so that one's going to be Wednesday, February 11th. Now, I will say that I'm afraid that my wife goes on these and she's going to plan for us to move into a senior community sooner than later, because I hear they have 3 meals a day, right? So we don't get that at our house.
I try.
Sorry. Crockpot, I heard down here, right? So the crockpot is great. So, and then the last one that we're going to share is the truth about storms, insurance, and timing. And that will be held by Ambassador Roofing and Construction. That will be Tuesday, March 10th at 10 a.m. All right. So if you've not heard, I know that a lot of people get their doors knocked by roofers, right? I'm not sure that we can necessarily trust those people that are coming through and door knocking, and that's not what Ambassador does, but we definitely appreciate their support. Hey. Okay, sorry. We do appreciate their support, and they do provide a lot of good information. So all of these spotlights, tours, specific workshops that they hold between months. It's just education. And I think that we are all lifelong learners.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right. Appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and have my panelists start making their way up here. And while they're on their way, I'm curious, what do you guys want to learn today? Does anyone have something that they absolutely want to learn today? No one. You don't want to learn anything today. Listen, you just want a free coffee. Anybody? Okay. Yes, Betty.
I want to know about how to tell if something is there.
Betty wants to know. Did I get switched off? Okay. Betty wants to know how to tell if something is AI. That's great. Anybody else? Does anybody else have something that you definitely want to walk away with? Yes, sir. I want to know that too. How do you keep them from calling you? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. How to block scammers. Yep.
I like to know. You need to first click it, put it there. How
safe it is for personal information to be out there. Okay, if you enter something in, how secure is that? Okay, wonderful. Great. Well, I am so excited to talk with these panelists. Let's see if we've got, scammers win when people feel isolated, rushed, or ashamed. So we're definitely going to talk about that today. And our panelists, look, I'll tell you what, guys, let's go down the row and introduce. All I want you to do right now is just introduce yourself and tell us what your job is.
My name is Jennifer Austin. I am the district attorney here for Cleveland, McLean, and Garvin counties.
I'm Scott Harper. There we go. I'm Scott Carpenter. I'm a white-collar crime detective for the city of Moore.
I'm Dustin Underhill. I'm a white-collar crime detective for city of Norman.
My name is Jeff Harris, Assistant Compliance Officer at First National Bank and Trust.
First National Bank and Trust. Okay, great. Are you going to come take a look at these mics? Okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep going and you can check them out. All right. So we're gonna watch a couple of videos. I'll go ahead and get this one started.
Todd Gibson with the Moore Police Department, and your grandson Timmy Smith has been arrested for felony possession of marijuana. He will be a felon and will have a difficult time getting a good job. However, if you are able to pay the $5,000 fine within the next hour, I will be able to keep this off of his record and out of public view. In order to do that, you will need to pay the fine by making a payment to the Moore Police Department's account via remote deposit. I will send you a text with the information and also have Officer Smiles give you a call to walk you through the process. I hope you love your grandson enough to keep him from ruining his life.
That's wild, right?
And
is that real? No. I think I've got one more. Yep.
In a stunning development, Canada has declared war on the United States. Let's Joe Braxton, who is live at the border.
I'm currently at the border, but there is no war. Mom, Dad, I know this looks kind of real, but it's all AI.
Grandpa, I'm fine. This is just AI. You don't need to wire money to anyone. I am not in love with you. And I do not need your money for a plane ticket. I am AI.
This fake moon landing footage isn't classified. It's AI. You're probably wondering how I got rich with crypto. The truth is, I didn't get rich off crypto. I don't even exist.
You might be able to tell this is fake now, but it's going to keep getting better.
We're all AI.
There could be aliens, but I'm not one of them. I'm AI.
An herbal supplement did not cure my cancer. I'm not even real.
Uncle Fred, the government has not been taken over by lizard people. You don't need to send us $5,000 in gift cards because you missed jury duty.
Grandma, it's not real. It's AI.
It's AI. It's AI.
Bro, it's AI.
Fake faces.
Real consequences.
Think before you trust.
Oh, was it not over? It's okay. Thanks. Technology can fake voices, images, and messages, but technology cannot force you to act. Okay, so today we are not going to come from a place of fear. We're going to come from a place of empowerment and proactivity. We're going to learn. And my hope for you is that when you leave today, you leave with the tools you need to look at something and say, I have questions about that. I know the questions to ask and I know who I can talk to about it, okay? Deal? All right. Now, I do know that you guys are going to want to connect with our panelists afterwards, after we get done. They're going to hang around for a little bit. They also have tables along with our education partners with lots and lots of good information. So please, please make sure that you take advantage. You're here for education. Please take advantage of the education and get the information, okay? And share it with a friend, okay? All right. Let's see. Jennifer, we'll start with you. When we talk about scams today, what is one thing that you would say has fundamentally changed in the last 5 to 10 years?
Technology, for sure, technology. If you think 5 to 10 years ago, not all of you had cell phones, right? We had them, but maybe they were just something we used in case of emergency. We had one maybe that we shared with our loved ones. We had one, but now that's what we all have. I know most of you probably don't even have landlines anymore. So we are all accessible, and we're accessible 24 hours a day. And we not only have those phone numbers, we have email addresses, and we check our bank account online. We don't, just do our check registry and we get our statements, and that we have the ability to get online and check. We have the ability to have our information out there for people to know. It used to just be, you're in the phone book, but now someone can Google your name and find out everything about you. We know that you are all being targeted for these different things, like it's up on the slide. You're being targeted not because, they're just senior citizens and we're going to target them. You're being targeted for these scams because you have something they want, and that's money. You are not, a 21-year-old is not going to be targeted because they don't have anything. They don't even have credit really necessarily at 21 years old. They don't have savings. They don't have pensions. They don't have a Social Security check. They don't have a consistent income like you do. So that's why you're being targeted. You also are being targeted because they have access to you. You're home during the day because you're retired, and they have access to you during the day, and you answer the phones and they can talk to you. They have the time to get you on the phone. You're polite. We are raised, there's a different generation, let's just be honest. There, you will listen and you'll be polite, and you may not hang up on someone, and you may listen. So you won't just automatically say, no, I'm not answering. And so you're more targeted because of your accessibility. Also, technology is confusing, but scammers are good. They are good. So don't be embarrassed that you might be thinking, is this real or not? They are very good. For technology to just be one aspect of it, they're good. Technology's hard for all of us to understand. But these scammers, it is a 24/7 job for them. They are trained. They get up and they learn how to be a scammer every day. A lot of these scams come overseas. We see it primarily, people from overseas are trying to scam individuals, and they are learning how to be scammers all day, every day. They are also told, we have learned, they are told that, people in America have money, people in America have insurance. So you're not really stealing from them, and you're not going to be putting them out of their house and home or depleting their life savings, because they have insurance and they'll get paid back. So they don't feel so bad about doing it because they think that they're stealing from you, but it's not going to devastate you. So they are good at what they do. It is their job, and they are trying very hard to take your money. And who got that text for the toll? Oh, you owe a toll, right? Because it doesn't cost them anything to send that text out. They can send it out to 2 million numbers and just send it. And then if 100,000 people reply and give that credit card number, they've made money off of it. If no one replies, they didn't lose any money sending out that text. So technology is able to access and be accessible to you and to get to you and to get to your hand and for you to see it, where it wasn't that way 10 years ago. So it's allowed you all to be a person they can contact where they wouldn't have been able to contact you before. Now, we've always had scams. I mean, mail, just picking up the phone or just someone knocking at your door. They've always been around. But now you're a lot more accessible because of technology and the ability just to click on something and get to you and to be able to click on that website to download everything from your computer. Also, the ability to find out more about you. That is one thing that's really big. We know that sometimes people who are bad actors will try to research you, and they will do everything they can to research you and know everything about you before they pick up that phone to call you. They will Google your name. They will look through obituaries to find out who your grandson or who someone's grandson is or their cousin or their relative. So they know those names and they know those familial relationships before they call you. So that you're out there, whether you like it or not, on the internet. If you Google yourself, you might be able to find out more than you knew was out there about you. I suggest that you do it so you know what's out there, so you know what people could know about you.
Yep. And I think we're going to talk about that more here in just a minute.
Sorry, I'm probably jumping ahead.
You're fine. No, you're totally, we love it. That's what we're here for. I want to hear from our detectives and our bank representative too. How have you seen things change over the last 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think, this is a discussion about AI primarily today, and AI has changed the landscape greatly in the last 10 years. Before, 10 years ago, a scammer could only handle a handful of long-term victims where he could carry on a relationship with you and get you to send money over a course of time, month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. Now with AI, the scammers can handle thousands of relationships at the same time, and they're flawless. Their grammar is flawless. They don't forget things. They're not going to call you by the wrong name because the computer is handling all of it. And it doesn't have to be, 10 years ago, that was reserved for people that they thought they could get a significant amount of money from. Now, if they think they can get $1,000 from you, it's worth it because it costs them nothing to have this AI chat with you and interact with you for 3 to 6 months, and they get $1,000 from you. It's worth it to them now. And I think that's been a huge change. And that's why I know you all get the random text messages that don't make sense, that are like, hey, it was nice to see you last Friday, or looking forward to the high school reunion, or whatever it is that doesn't make any sense. Is that just an AI trying to get you to engage with them so that hopefully they can trick you into something? And when that doesn't work, the AI is going to try something else. But there's not even a scammer touching any of that until the money starts coming through. It's all being done by AI.
I got a text the other day that said, are we still on for dinner tomorrow night? And I thought to myself, oh no, what have I forgotten? And then I thought, oh, I don't have to answer that person.
and that's all that it is. It's just trying to get you to start the engagement with them, so that they can try to, over the course of the next month or two, get you to send money for something. And there's not even a person. It's just all AI running it, and running it flawlessly because it doesn't forget or mess things up.
What are you saying?
Like Jennifer mentioned, I think one of the biggest changes in the last 5 to 10 years is the organization of our scammers. There are now large groups out there that do this. It's their full-time job. I have read stories of where people who have PhDs and who are medical doctors or surgeons make more working in scam call centers than they do in their home country doing what they've been trained to do. And so they have all day long to sit there and dial phone numbers or type in email addresses, or with the assistance of AI now, be able to automate that. And that's been, I think, one of the biggest changes. Is it's become more than just a few people. There's entire business parks full of people that's their full-time job. It's to reach out and try to get money from people or information.
In the banking industry, have you seen things change?
Scammers
place. We fit.
Oh no, we may have to share.
Yeah.
Scammers are becoming bolder, and the scams they run have changed significantly based on AI because the tools they have increased significantly and advanced since 5 to 10 years ago. If you think about 5 to 10 years ago, you didn't have photo recognition as high as you have now. There was no audio recognition going on. Now they can generate photos of somebody, videos of somebody, and it literally only takes a few seconds of audio for them to clone your voice and use in that video. The scams are pretty much the same: grandparent scams, romance scams, but how they're going about to get that information is different now with AI.
Yeah. And when you guys were talking too, I'm kind of thinking about how quickly things are changing and how difficult that makes your jobs to keep up with it. Have you changed your processes as far as keeping up with things? I guess you're employing a lot of IT.
It has, to be honest with you, it has made us less successful as we find more of these international call centers basically are running these. It's very difficult to do anything when it turns out the suspect is in Southeast Asia or in Africa or someplace like that. For my victim who's lost $120,000, it's difficult to do anything for them when the scammers are out of the country. So it has become more difficult as far as that goes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that as well?
I think the biggest change has just been, the way we investigate things. We've had to move to more technology as well, obviously, to keep up with them and to educate ourselves. Just like any of us, our information is all out there. So is theirs. We just have to use more technology and rely more on inquiring from services that collect that data, like Google or other places.
Sure.
To try to figure out where they're at. But then again, like Detective Carpenter said, our hands get tied when we track it down. We can do everything we can do here and track it down, and we track it to Southeast Asia or China or anywhere. And then our hands get kind of tied at that point. So
yeah. Well, Jennifer, I want to know, tell me a little bit more about, you were saying maybe Google yourselves and things like that. What are you wanting the people in the room to walk away from a place of proactivity?
You can't hide from it. It's out there. And we all just kind of think, well, I'm not on the internet. I'm not on Facebook, or I'm not on Instagram. That doesn't mean you're not out there. So when someone calls you and says, I work for a certain company, and they have information about you, you need to know that they could have got that information off of the internet. It's not because they're in your account. It's because they've got that information from you off the internet.
So that kind of goes to one of our attendees' questions. When you're entering things, when should you be mindful? How do you know if a site is secure? Do you know the answer to that?
There are ways to tell if a site is secure. First of all, don't ever click on anything. If someone sends you something and says, I'm trying to verify your information, don't click on it, because when you do, you can be taken to another site. But if you're entering your credit card information into something, think about, why are you entering that credit card information? Is it because you went to that site to pay for something, or is it because someone sent you something to go to that site to pay for something? So always think first before you enter it, why am I entering this information? And then look on the website. It should have a little padlock, and it should say it's secure. I think it says HTTPS. I want to make sure I get that right. That means secure. That's what that S means. And before you don't just enter your information. Also, if you're going to, and I'm sure the banking is going to enter, if you're going to be entering a credit card, if you have a debit card and a credit card, use your credit card rather than your debit card. Because your debit card, if someone gets that information, they can empty your bank account. From your credit card, it's only what can be charged against your credit. So if you do not have a credit card, you probably should have one for doing any of your online purchases or online information rather than just your debit card that can empty your bank account and empty everything that you had. Was that the recommendation you would have also?
Yes, is use a credit card. And something else I just want to piggyback off you is watch what websites you're going to. Don't look for like the cheapest option, because I could go build a website if I wanted to in 10 minutes. So make sure if you're shopping, go to Amazon.com. Make sure it's a legitimate site. Go to Walmart, but stay off any foreign websites or any websites that has deals that are too good to be true.
Wow, you kept that in your back pocket. You didn't say that during the panel prep. I love that. Good. Hey, Amy, also on our follow-up letter, I would love to have an icon of the little lock, the lock that's on the URL, because I wish I had that as a visual to show what those secure websites look like. So we'll include that on the follow-up letter.
And if you Google something, like say you're looking for, like an air conditioning company, and you Google that, the first ones that come up always are ads, and it'll say ad out to the side and then have companies. Don't just click on the first one. Look at what you're really looking for. Because if you put in, Smith Air Company, Smith Air and Co. is what you're looking for. The first few may not be Smith Air and Co. They might be a version of that, but may not be real. So make sure you get down and you look down. So be patient and look for the one you're actually looking for, not just the first one that pops up. It could be fake, or it could just be an ad, whoever paid the most to have it at the top. So make sure you're really what you looked for, that you really go down and find that actual website. And you can kind of look at the website name and see if that's what it is. Also, if you're entering information to say it's St. Anthony's is what you're trying to enter information in, make sure it actually is spelled St. Anthony's. It's not misspelled in that address for that website. So you're actually going to the real website, because do you guys see that a lot? The fake websites are out there like crazy, playing off of that word. If you're looking for Microsoft, it might say Microsoft PC instead of just Microsoft.com. There might be a fake email address.
So on that note, I think we need to talk about some common examples of scams. So I think that's a great segue. I appreciate that. So social media exploitation, Facebook and Instagram. And I also want to take this opportunity to say that, social media is fine. That's a great way to stay in contact with people. So in AI, in a lot of instances, is fine. There are good aspects, but just like as with many things, if something can be used for the bad, there will be people out there that will try to do that. So we're just going to talk about some examples so that you know what you're looking for. So social media exploitation, people popping on there, and then of course the fake IT and website scam. And then the fake companies and businesses. Each of you work with different departments and businesses. Tell us a little bit about how you're seeing these scams affect the community in the capacity that you're most familiar with.
I'm going to let Detective Carver talk about the social media exploitation, because I think he is very...
Let's talk about that.
So we often see the social media exploitation come in with romance or hybrid romance investment scams, where oftentimes AI will start a conversation with somebody on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the social media they're using is. And over time, we'll convince that person that there's an investment to be had in some sort of cryptocurrency. And we'll get them to invest a little bit of money in it. We'll show them a fake website showing that they've made all kinds of profit. And then when they go to try and take their money out, there will be fees that they're having to pay, and taxes and duties and just all kinds of stuff, because the money doesn't exist. It's a scam to begin with, and they're just compounding it on there. And these are very difficult to spot, because with AI, they can have convincing conversations in perfect English. They can use pictures, because the video we watched earlier about AI, the one that had the lizard people and all of that, none of those people exist. There's not a single one of those people is an actual person. A computer made those people up.
I'm going to stop you for just a second. None of the people in that video exist in any capacity. There was not a single actor in that video. I just want you to sit with that thought for just a minute. They looked like real people, didn't they? Not a single one of them was a real person. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, a computer made them up entirely. Much like the person that you're chatting with on Facebook. And I have a case right now where a very bright physician was tricked into sending a six-figure sum to somebody he thought was interested in him as part of an investment scam. It's not because people aren't bright. It's because they're very good. It's not because people aren't aware of what to look for. It's once again because they're very good. With AI, they can spend 3 months talking to you ahead of time and convincing you that they're real and doing all of that before they start to ask you for money or before the investment scam. It costs them nothing. It's a computer doing all of the work, literally all of the work for them. So with the social media exploitation, if you don't initiate contact with someone and someone initiates with you, always view that with just a small degree of skepticism, because that's how these all start.
And again, it's not like social media is necessarily always bad. You may be communicating with people that you haven't talked to from high school, and you find them on social media. It's not bad. It's those, like you said, the unsolicited friend requests that you get, or someone that comments, "Oh, I saw your picture and you look really pretty, and what do you like?" And they will know all the things about you. They'll like the same things you like. You go to their page and they have same things on their page that you like. But you have to look at that. If you want to really have that person as a friend, look and see, is this a real Facebook profile? Do they have a lot of pictures of themselves, or do they only have pictures of flowers or kittens or scenery and different types of advertisements? Is it really a person, or is it just a made up profile? And if you choose to start talking with that person, then you really need to start investigating it yourself to determine, are they a real person, or are they a fake profile set up to start communicating with me? And anytime anyone asks you to send them money, it might be I've fallen on hard times, I need help with something. That's not going to be the first thing they ask you. They're going to, like you said, they're going to use AI to communicate with you for a couple of months, maybe even, before they start asking for money from you. So you really have to do your due diligence to determine, is this a real person that I'm talking with? And it's hard to find out that it's not. I mean, it's embarrassing. You feel duped, and they don't care. They want the money from you. And so they wait until you're emotionally invested before they start asking for money. And they will tell you not to tell your friends and family members about it. And we'll get to that, I'm sure, a little bit more. But you really have to do your own diligence. You just can't decide, I want to talk to this person. And I hate that. I hate that you just can't be out there living your life and not be skeptical. But in this day and age, you really have to, if you're not sitting across from someone talking with them, you have to be skeptical about who you're talking with.
Well, and I will say too, I don't want anyone to lose their kindness. Like I believe that is something that's really special. If you talk to me for 10 minutes, you know that I love Oklahoma City. I am so committed to this community. It has built me and as a human, and I love Oklahomans, and I love that we're kind. And it feels embarrassing to us when someone starts talking to us on Facebook and they are acting like we should know who they are. And I think even something as simple as, I am so sorry, I'm just having a day. Where do I know you from? And they're going to say something weird. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to talk to them. Don't talk to them. Just click it away. You don't. You don't have to talk to them. All right. So what are you guys seeing as far as, do you want me to repeat the question? Sorry. Different departments as far as this goes, what are you seeing the most of?
So again, it all comes back to, or it all comes down to, really, you have time, right? You have the choice not to talk to somebody. You've got time in situations to evaluate it and look at the profile to see if it's real or see if it's not. Another very common tactic that we see a lot of times, especially with the social media stuff, is they'll reach out to you on social media, but then they promptly ask you to move that conversation off of Facebook to something like WhatsApp or WeChat, Telegram, Signal, because those services a lot of times are encrypted. They're more secure communication platforms than what Facebook Messenger is. And they know that if we go to Facebook and ask for messaging history with a search warrant, Facebook's probably going to give that to us. But some of these other more secure companies make it a lot more difficult, which is why they're secure. And there's a purpose for those, and there's a purpose for that communication, but be very, very leery if someone asks you to move a conversation from where they started it, because most likely they initiated it, right? And then they ask you to move it off platform to something else.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot with the real estate frauds too. Rental fraud and real estate fraud is a very big thing on Facebook. These scammers will take over actual Facebook pages. They do research on people's accounts that maybe you haven't logged into your Facebook page for a few years. There's scamming groups out there that go and look for accounts like that, and then they will do what they can to take that account over, and then they will start using that account to post houses or apartments or things like that for rent. And then people who are on Facebook Marketplace looking for a place to rent end up sending them a security deposit of $500 or whatever, and show up to tour the house, but the person you've been talking to never shows up. And then the house is already occupied. That happens quite often. And in those situations, a lot of times that's another tactic they'll use. They'll start that communication on Facebook, and then they'll immediately have you move to one of those other platforms.
In the banking industry, what types of scams are you seeing affect your members the most?
We're seeing a lot of romance scams out there because they can hide behind the computer and they can generate a fake image. You can go find an image of a female or a male and post up there and make them look nice, and that's how they trick them because they think it's a legitimate person. We also see scams where they've put ads on Facebook, and anybody can go buy an ad, and the person will just click on it and then start inputting their information for debit cards or credit cards and just give it right to the scammers. But I want to talk about the flip side of this if I can, and that's don't overshare on social media. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend, he goes to Key West every year for a concert down there. He's fixing to go there now, but he'll post 2 days till I'm going to Key West. When he gets down there, he'll start posting pictures. Look at who I met at Key West. Look at these musicians. What's he doing? He's giving the scammers that information. If they can find where he lives, they know he's not there. He's not going to be there. He's out in Florida. So please don't overshare on social media.
Man, that's hard.
I never post that I'm out of town, ever. Post pictures when you get back. I mean, because you're telling them, go burglarize my house. I'm not home. And if you've posted a picture of your house before online, like you standing out front, your address, I mean, they really do their job. They really try hard to do that. It's a shame because you should be able to enjoy your life and you should be able to share things with your friends. But if you put it all out there, everybody knows. So another thing is if your account is not private, make it private. There's no reason in the world you should have an open Facebook account, because that means I could go on right now and search you and see everything about you, even though I'm not your friend. There's no reason in the world for that.
And if you don't know how to do that, find a teenager.
Yes. I have to ask my teenagers to do it sometimes. I don't understand how to do it. But when you're setting up that account, you need it to be private because you're setting up that account not to talk to everyone in the world, right? You're setting it up to talk to people you choose to talk to, your friends, your family members. But when you make it public, that means everything you post, anyone can find and see. If you set it private, they have to send you a friend request. You have to choose to accept it so that they can see your things you post, okay? Now, your profile picture might be available, and you can choose that. but not all of your information, because that's not why you're getting on social media, is to share it with the world. It's to share it with the people you choose to share it with.
So let's talk about some patterns that you're seeing over and over again, because I want to get some logistics in here before we start talking about some other red flags, but I want to talk about patterns. So this could come in the form of maybe a story that is the same story that you've seen over and over again, but just some things that maybe this will spark somebody that they're thinking of, or something that's happened in their life. Okay. Do you want to start?
Well, like Detective Underhill said, the rental scams are rampant everywhere, and that's a weekly, if not monthly, occurrence for us, that someone gets scammed on Facebook Marketplace for a rental. We see everything.
Where should you look for a rental if you can't look on Facebook Marketplace?
So you can look on Facebook Marketplace, or you can look on any of the real estate sites, but it's important to actually drive by the house and see if there's a sign posted in front, and if that number on that sign matches the number that you're calling. Because usually, if it is a vacant house even, the number on the sign in the front is not the number you called if you're getting scammed. And if you're not, obviously, then that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to protect yourself from that.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I suggest when looking at that is make sure you're looking at multiple sources. Like, a lot of people who have rentals will post that rental when it's available on multiple sources. That they'll post it on Realtor.com, they'll post it on Facebook Marketplace and other places,
Zillow,
and what these scammers do is they go to those legitimate postings on Realtor.com, Zillow, and other places, and they will pull the photos from that, and that's what they put on Facebook Marketplace. But what they do on Facebook Marketplace is that photo will have a phone number written on top of it. So when you're looking at the photos, it'll say, call this number, right? And then if you see that on Zillow, for example, the photos on Zillow aren't going to have that plastered on them like they will on Facebook Marketplace, and the phone numbers on Zillow are going to be different than that phone number that's listed on Facebook Marketplace. So that's one of the suggestions to avoid that, is just to kind of cross-reference things when you're looking at them.
Again, the due diligence.
Yeah.
So what other patterns are you seeing?
Well, I know that none of you have warrants, but if I were to call all of you and tell you did, somebody in here is going to pay me, if not more than one somebody. Whether I tell you it's for missing jury duty, whether I say it's from a car wreck, or your social security number being attached to drugs,
tax lien,
or a tax lien, that happens all the time. You don't have warrants. You don't have things on your computer you shouldn't have. You're not involved with drugs. Don't let someone intimidate you into thinking that you are when you know that you're not.
Do people call you when you have a warrant out?
No, we come arrest you.
Yeah.
We don't give people a heads up that they have a warrant. You get a knock at the door, and there's an officer standing there with silver handcuffs. So that's what happens. We don't call you and say you can clear this warrant by doing this. And you're not going to ever be able to clear a warrant by using a credit card or Bitcoin or a money order, just doing that. Okay.
So tell your friends you're not going to get a call. You're going to get a knock on your door. Don't do that. That's great. I'm so glad you guys said that.
That is not going to happen. Another thing is when you get that email that says we need to verify your information, click here. That's a huge one that comes out. I mean, everybody has gotten one of those, right? Saying that. You've also got that PayPal email that says, we have received your PayPal payment for McAfee, right? You've all got that. They're just trying, because if someone clicks that, it's going to take you somewhere to pay. It's a fake, like on here, it's a fake website or IT scam. There's something wrong with your computer. I know that was one that there's something wrong with your computer. Click here to verify your information. No one's going to send you that to verify your information. If you got the email, they have your email address. It doesn't need to be verified, right? I mean, it came to you. Nobody needs to verify your information. If one of them too, click here to get your refund. That's a big one. You think, oh, I'm owed some money. Okay, great. No, you're not. No, if you're going to get a refund, it's going to come in a check in the mail. If your doctor owes you $12, you get that annoying $12 check that you've now got to go to the bank to cash for $12. So they're going to send it to you. Don't click. I know it's so tempting that when they send you that link that you want to click it. Don't click it. It's so easy. And you just think, well, I'll just take care of this. Nope. If someone needs to verify your information, they can mail you a letter or your doctor's office can call you. You do not click. There's no reason to ever click that to take you someplace else, because I guarantee you it's not taking you where you think it's taking you. It's taking you to a fake website that's been set up, and they're going to ask you for your date of birth and your social security number and your address and all the things that they need to assume your identity. So do not do that. And I know everyone knows not to give out your information, right? They try to do it with Medicaid or Medicare. They try to do Medicare. Oh, we need to verify your information. They know your information because you have your insurance card. And unless you have moved or changed something, there is no reason to verify your information. They have it all. And IRS is also never going to call you and tell you you owe money for taxes. If you owe money for taxes, you get a certified letter, don't you? You get a certified letter because the IRS will find you and they're not going to call you. You know that. They know exactly where you are. They're not going to call you to have you pay over the phone.
What are some patterns you're seeing at the bank? Maybe something that has happened that you thought, man, I wish they would have seen this coming.
Well, what's going on now in the banking industry is the scammer will reach out to the victim on the phone and they'll tell them that someone at the bank is embezzling money from them and trying to steal their money. And they need to go withdraw their money from that bank and send it to them so they can keep it safe for them. Well, this happens.
Yeah, that sounds funny, but
Yeah.
I mean, it happens every day. I mean, the majority of cases like that come across my desk that's exactly what happened.
And it's not that obvious when they call you. They don't just start out with that. They gain your trust first to make you think that, yes, the bank is involved. I do need to go get my money. And it sounds like, well, I would never fall for that. But the people that fall for it are educated. They are employed. I mean, they're normal people, just like you guys are. They fall for it because it really is very convincing.
Yeah, these are smart people, but the scammers are getting bolder, and they're saying, put us on speakerphone and take us with you into the bank, but don't let the bank know you're on the phone. Put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, so we can hear everything and make sure you're getting the money and getting it to us.
Have you had that happen?
Yes, it happens.
Wow.
We probably hear about this once a week, once every other week at our locations.
And what do they always tell them to say? What's the money for?
They just tell them to take it out. The others say, hey, I just want to withdraw my money.
And when the bank says, what are you using this for? What do they always tell them?
They make up stuff.
Home improvements, buying a car.
Yep.
Wow.
So
they'll tell you to lie to your bank. If anybody wants you to lie, it's a scam.
Yeah. So what we do at our locations, and other banks probably have this in place as well, is we have a two-sided piece of paper that we slide the customer because the scammers can't read that. They can't see that. And the very first question is, are you on the phone with somebody and your phone's hidden? If the customer marks that yes, then our bankers know to stop the transaction and we need to move to an office with a manager and talk about this. Because the problem is if you go take out all your money and you send to these guys, you are not seeing it again. It is gone.
Okay. Well, again, I promised you we're not going to talk about fear. So Jennifer, when we were talking before, you told me about the 3 S's. So why don't you tell us about the 3 S's?
I have to credit Detective Carpenter.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's the one that gave it to me. I stole it from him, and now but it's to be shared. I mean, they are going to try to make you do something secret like that. Don't tell the bank you're on the phone. Don't tell anyone. Don't call your loved ones before you do this. And if you don't do it, you're going to lose all your money. So there's that secret and that scary. And you have to do this now. Get in your car, drive to the bank. So it's speed. And go just when they're doing, if there's anybody who's asking you to make a large financial decision quickly, that should be your first red flag, because you've never bought a home quickly. You've never bought a car quickly. You've got to fill out tons of paperwork and do all these things. It's a long thing. And you should be able to say, I need to talk to my husband. I need to talk to my wife. I need to talk to my son. I need to talk to my friend. And if they say, no, don't tell them, that's a red flag because it's a financial decision. You should be able to talk that through with someone. Do you guys find that it's always these at least one of these three elements?
Yeah, it's important that, so if you're a scammer, it's much easier to get someone to make decisions based on emotion than logic. And with these three S's, they're able to keep you in the emotional center of your brain and not the logical center of your brain. Because if you stopped or you talked to someone else or you weren't scared, you're not going to do whatever it is they're asking you to do. Because you're thinking emotionally and not logically at the time, it makes it much easier for them to get you to send them money.
And if they're telling you that you're going to lose everything in your bank account, that's the scary part of it. Not that they're threatening to hurt you, but it's that fear of, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my bank account. I'm going to lose these things. That's the fear, the scary that they're doing is that you're in danger of losing something. And that makes you emotional right then. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to take care of this. I have a warrant. That's the big scary they do too. You're going to be arrested. Your grandson's going to be arrested. Your son's going to be arrested. It's that emotional.
Hey, another S that I would add to this is sympathy. All of us want to be empathetic and we want to be sympathetic. It's natural human behavior to do that. And if they can't get you with the scary or the speed, a lot of times that's what we see they turn to is sympathy. That's usually the last piece of the puzzle. So
romance ones are often sympathy. Yeah. I'm going to be evicted. I need the money for this.
Another one that they commonly use sympathy on is, let's say you get an email. It looks like it's from PayPal. It's going to be a fake PayPal invoice saying, thank you for your purchase with McAfee or whatever. You name the company, right? There'll be a phone number on that email. That was another thing I was going to mention earlier. Not only don't click on links, right, but don't call phone numbers in emails like that either. Make sure if you're going to reach out.
You can cross-check it, right? So like if you get an email, then you can Google that business. And I will tell you, like Google does, if it's a business has a Google profile, like we have to provide them with our insurance verification and things like that to have a Google account.
But there are still fake addresses on Google.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. Is if you see something that says call this number or whatever, kind of go off of that and look for the number yourself. If it's this company, try to find that company's website, call the phone number on their legitimate website, not the phone number that's in this PayPal email that you got, because 9 times out of 10, well, not 9 times out of 10, but 10 out of 10, that's a fake phone number. It leads directly to scammers. And so after you call that, they're gonna, a lot of times they'll act like, PayPal. You'll say, I didn't make this purchase. What's this about? Then they'll say, okay, well, we'll issue you a refund. We just need you to download this app or do something like that. That's how they get access to your computer. And then they will have remote access to your computer and ask you something like, well, we're also seeing some other transactions that may look like fraud. What's the phone number on the back of your debit card so I can connect you with your bank? Well, you look at your debit card, you give them that phone number. Now they know what bank you use, right? And they have a stash of fake websites for most of the major banks that they'll use. And since they're remotely accessed into your computer, they can pop that up. They can say they were going to give you a $500 refund. They'll make it look like they gave you a $50,000 refund. And then they play the sympathy card of, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to send that much. I'm going to lose my job. My kids are going to go hungry. My wife is going to kill me. Various excuses that they give. And that sympathy card is to get you to go get the money out of your bank account, which it looks like they put in there, but in reality they didn't. And a lot of times they'll either have you put that in a cryptocurrency kiosk, to purchase Bitcoin or some other type of cryptocurrency. Or what we're seeing a lot of times now too is they'll send a courier to come pick it up. So they'll tell you that I'll send a courier to come pick it up. He's with the company. When he gets there, he's going to give you a password. That password is 1984. And so some random person is going to show up at your house. Only thing they're going to say to you usually is the password, and then you hand them over the cash that you just went to the bank and got, and then it's gone.
Well, we had a couple of people say, how do I tell if it's AI? And so this is how, guys, like if it's secret, if they're wanting it to be secretive, if they want it, so yes, scams in general, but if you see a video or you get a phone call, because I'm hoping that everyone here is aware that you can voice clone on AI and you can get a phone call from someone who sounds like someone that you know. And the way that you know that it's AI is that they are very secret. They want you to be secret. They want you to be, something scary, and they want it right that second. So this is the litmus test that we use when someone contacts us or sends us an email or reaches out in some way. And the sympathy as well. We're going to change it to 4S's. I love that. So this is how you tell. If somebody makes a funny picture on social media with AI and it's just a picture, who cares? Who cares if that's AI? But if they are trying to get you to act, you need to be aware. Secret, scary speed, and sympathy. Okay, so again, we're not leading with fear. We're leading with knowledge and proactivity. So at the bank, you talked a little bit about some red flags, but what else can someone do before they make it to the bank?
What else can they do to protect themselves before they make it to the bank?
Yeah.
They can, just be aware. Realize you have the control in anything you do. If phone call doesn't sound right, hang up. Block the number. They're going to find different numbers. They're going to spoof numbers to call you over and over again. Keep blocking them. Never get there. Hello?
Never technology.
Yeah. Never give out any information to them. And just remember that you're in control of that situation. Take a step back, stop, take a deep breath, and think about what they're asking you. And think, is this something I would normally do if I had a little bit more time?
Okay. So at Senior Living Truth Series, we are all about proactivity and some things that you can do and some resources that you have. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about a family password and why every family should have a password.
So with AI, they can make any image they want. If you go on to like one of the AI websites right now and you said, show me a kitten wearing a football helmet in a field of lavender, it's going to generate that. And you're going to be, oh my gosh. So they can generate family members, friends in the voices, just like she talked about. And if you need to come up with a password for your family. And that's something that you and your loved ones and your friends, you can sit around and decide, what is our password? So if someone calls me and says, I am in jail and I need to get out of jail, you can say, what's the password? And then you're talking to that person. You are talking to the person that you really need to be talking to. Because if you don't have that, you're going to think, I'm talking to my daughter, I'm talking to my son, I'm talking to my grandson. And you have that password so that you know what is going on and that it's actually the person that you need to talk to. Because if my son called me and told me, I need some money, Mom, and here's why I need it, and I'm on vacation right now and this has happened, I know he's on vacation, but do I know that's really him? I'm going to say, what's the password? And we have that password within our family. We also have a password that I've given my kids. So if they need to come home from something and they're not feeling safe because they're teenagers, I say they can just say that word to me and I know that I need to come get them wherever they are and whatever's going on, and that they don't have to explain to me why. So have that safe word that is with your loved ones so that you know that it's really them that you're talking to. Do you guys have any suggestions on that?
In addition to that, if you get a call from somebody that says they're your grandson, and you're suspicious about it, you can always just call your grandson or call their dad or their mom and say, hey, do you know where Scott is? So that option is always available to you as well, is just to call them directly, and then you're talking to them. The voice cloning stuff only takes about 3 to 5 seconds worth of somebody's voice in order to do that, and most of us are on the internet somewhere with 3 to 5 seconds of our voice, and if not, I can call you and pretend to be a wrong number and get 3 to 5 seconds of your voice by keeping you on the phone for a wrong number conversation. So it's scary a little bit, but it's also just call a person. You have their phone number or their parents' phone number or whoever it is. Just call them directly. If they're claiming to be somebody else, you can just verify it directly.
Okay, credit card freeze, protecting yourself from deed fraud, and then so I think Jennifer speak to that, and then I'll have our detectives talk to us a little bit about when and where to report.
You all know that you're able to put a freeze on your credit, probably, right? Because you get those letters in the mail. I got another one yesterday that said there's been a data breach. I mean, everybody gets those. And the companies are required to send those to you when there's a data breach. And if you actually read those down at the bottom, it'll usually have, because there's been a data breach, you can call this number and we will put a free, they'll give you like a year's free on your credit report. But you can do it yourself. You can call the Experian or TRW, which are the credit reporting agencies, and I think the bank can probably help you with that also. But like I get my insurance through USAA. So USAA will do a free credit freeze for you. What that means for a credit freeze is you put this freeze on your credit that nothing can be purchased using your credit unless you authorize it. So if you have that freeze on there, no one can buy anything using your credit, like your social security number, your date of birth, all of that. But if you know you're going to buy something, you just call the credit company first. You say, I'm going to go purchase a car tomorrow. I need you to take that credit freeze off for 24 hours. And then you can go and purchase a car. And you can go in and do it, and then the credit freeze will go right back on, and no one can use your credit to buy anything. Because if someone goes in and uses your identity to buy a car, you won't know about it until they've defaulted and taken off with that car, and then now they're coming after you to pay for that car. So if you have that credit freeze, big purchases cannot be made, or someone can't get a credit card in your name.
Yeah, that means when you go to JCPenney and they say, would you like a discount if you open a card, then you have to say no.
Because you have to say no. Nope, I'm sorry, I have a freeze on my credit.
No, so sorry.
The deed fraud is a new thing that you can get so someone can't get your home in their name. And at our table, we actually have the flyers from the county clerk here in Cleveland County, if you live in Cleveland County, and the flyers tell you how to put that hold on your deed on your property so that no one can transfer your property into their name. Oklahoma County has a similar program if you live in Oklahoma County. And I know we say don't click on anything, and that's a big thing we say, but those websites, if you go to the Oklahoma County Clerk, they have a website for you to click on there and be able to sign up for that. Cleveland County does as well. You can click on it and go do it online, or you can actually go into the county clerk and they have the paperwork for you to fill that out to put that hold. You can also call the county clerk and they will walk you through. They'll have you go to the website while you're talking to them, and they will walk you through how to do that. So you're on the phone with someone from the county clerk because you called them yourself, and they will direct you to their website to do that, to put that deed fraud on so that someone doesn't steal your home and have your deed in their name. And it's a newer thing that they have these protections. And so the flyer from Cleveland County is very helpful. And then Oklahoma County, I know they're super helpful there too, and they will help you with that.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, guys, when and where are we reporting this to? Who wants to go?
I think when to report, obviously one of the biggest times is if you've suffered a financial loss, right? That is, obviously, if you avoided it, that's something that you can call us and let us know, so that we have that information and we know what's going on in the community. One of the biggest problems with fraud is the reporting. There's a lack of reporting. A lot of people don't report because they're scared or they're embarrassed or they think that nothing can be done about it. And so a lot of the statistics and numbers that we have are very low, but that keeps increasing every year because this problem's not going away, unfortunately. And so anytime something happens, make sure that your first step would be to report to your financial institution. So
you want them to call their bank first before they call you?
Yes.
Okay.
That's always the recommendation, especially if you've sent a wire or if you've done something like that at the direction of the scammers. The banks do have capability to intervene in some of those situations. Sometimes if it's sent, there's not a whole lot they can do until it gets to its destination, but there are some things that the banks can assist with on that. So we always say, make sure that you report it to them first. That way they can secure your accounts from anything further. Next step would be to report to your local police department, whether that's Norman or Moore or Oklahoma City. And from there, your police department may also ask you to file reports with at other locations. So if it's an internet-based crime, I know in Norman we will ask you to file a complaint with IC3, which is ic3.gov. It's the FBI's Internet Crime Center. Basically what that is it's a database that they keep that allows them to generate those statistics and make case connections. So if you here in Oklahoma are reporting that this email address contacted you and you sent them $30,000 and someone in Virginia is reporting the same thing, that pops up a flag to them of, hey, these are connected, and then they can connect myself, who's working your case here, with the detective who's working in Virginia, and we can then work together to try to solve what's going on. Another one that you might be able or might be asked to report to is the Federal Trade Commission. So if it was a scam that started on the cell phone, or if it's related to a business or something like that, or telephone, you may be asked to go to the Federal Trade Commission's fraud website and file a fraud report with the Federal Trade Commission. Again, same situation. It's a database. It allows them to connect cases and look at similarities so that they can connect those local investigators together to solve the problem. And then a third one that I know in Norman that we have added is if it involves cryptocurrency. If you have went to a cryptocurrency kiosk and deposited money, our patrol officers are supposed to be asking you to also immediately file a report through OperationShamrock.com, which is a coalition of investigators who have specified training in cryptocurrency investigations. It flags those transactions on the public record and the chains that those currencies use as fraud, and it also gets that information in front of trained investigators in that much quicker than it will get to me or Detective Carpenter, because that money moves lightning quick. It moves much faster than if you wire money or use your credit card or whatever. Cryptocurrency moves extremely fast, and it's very difficult to trace. And so we may ask you to report to that because it gets it in front of those investigators that work in task force situations all over the country, and they see those reports come in and they immediately start tracing it to see if there's leads that they can then give us.
And please don't be ashamed to report it. Please don't. Please don't be embarrassed. We have got to have you report it.
Again, you with the good segue. Good job. Look at you. No, embarrassment does keep scams hidden. And I really, really want us to have some time for some questions. So I'm gonna rapid fire this, but I would like to ask one of the detectives a fast answer, and then we'll move on. Tell me, how underreported do you believe scams are?
Oh, it's huge. So often people don't report because they're afraid that they're going to get made fun of, or that people will think they're not smart, or worst of all, not able to handle their own affairs and get forced into a nursing home or something like that by their kids. And so it's underreported, I'm sure, grossly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
1 out of 10 probably is reported, if not less, 1 out of 20.
that's wild. And I think the romance scams, people are so embarrassed of that they got tricked.
Well, we talked about before, it's physicians, it's lawyers falling for this, it's doctors, it's teachers, it's administrators, it's everybody. It's not, they get everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody with a cell phone.
Yeah. So let's before we start Q&A, because I want you to know what you have in front of you, and then we'll quickly do that. So here's how we do the Q&A. Be thinking of your question. I've got some mic runners that'll come around so that it'll make sure and pick you up on we do post these on YouTube afterwards. So we want to make sure that the listeners gain from your knowledge as well. So we'll bring you a mic. So just so you know what you have, first of all, you have a folder. I'd like for you to bring that folder with you to every time you come to Senior Living Truth Series. It's a really good place for you to keep everything. We also included those websites that we went over. So that's on one of your, it's the important resources, so that way you've got that. On the other side of that is the 3, but now 4 S's that we're going to keep. And then you have your notes page as well. If you have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking in a group and you need to be connected with the right person, so this yellow feedback form, let me tell you about our yellow feedback forms. We have a great track record of everybody turning this in. Remember, we don't give this information to anybody else. It's very secure, but this helps us get better. So this helps us know what you need and what we can provide, but it also gives us an opportunity to connect you with the right people. So there's a line that says, list the people that you'd like to be connected with. If you do that, a member of my team will reach out to you and connect you with the right person. So let's see. Scammer, again, we want to reiterate this. Scammers win when people feel isolated, rushed, or ashamed. And now some Q&A. So I will take as many questions as we can. When we need to move on, I will let you know. But let's go ahead and start. I've got my mic runners watching. Okay, we've got one in the front.
And if I could add one thing that wasn't in here that we talked, he briefly said cryptocurrency. Some of you may not know what that means, and that's Bitcoin. I will tell you, no government agency is ever going to ask you to pay anything with Bitcoin or with a credit card over the phone or with a wire transfer. Okay, so
thank you.
No one's ever going to ask you for that. I cannot think of any reason why any of you would ever need to pay anything with Bitcoin, but they will not call it Bitcoin. They will call it a secure payment portal. And it's at 7-Elevens. They have Bitcoin machines, so they might ask you to go pay that. No legitimate business is ever going to ask you to go make a payment at a 7-Eleven machine, okay? So don't do it.
We could have you all day, Jennifer. Okay. Yep.
Going back to the credit fee freeze, do you have to report it with all 3 of the credit agencies or just one of them?
All 3.
Yep. There might be conflicting information.
One will report to the other 2. So once you report it to one, they will report with the other 2 and freeze all 3. And that's a brilliant idea. You know, with COVID, everything moved online, and still currently it stayed that way. So before COVID, you had to go to a dealership to buy a car. Now you don't. I can buy a car in Kansas and have it shipped to me, and they're never going to see my face, and we can do it all online. So the credit freeze really is a good idea to protect you from things like that.
Who's next? Oh, Amy. Yep.
When I get a phone call, I know most of the time it's a spoofed number. It'll ring, and I answer it, and there's nobody there. And there'll be a weird sound. Or I'll have my phone ring one time before I can grab it, and the next thing I know, 2 minutes later, I'm getting a voicemail, and I'm like, how in the world did that even happen?
Well, and if you don't know the number, don't answer it.
Right.
Don't answer. If it's right. That's true. Yeah. But if you're getting number and you don't know it, and you didn't just call your doctor's office and leave a message and you're expecting a call back from them, don't answer it. Just let it go to voicemail. If it is truly someone you need to talk to, they will leave a message if it's an unknown number. Just let it go to voicemail, and they're either not going to leave a message, or it's going to be one of those automated ones that's got that delay, and then there's somebody. Yeah. What rings one time and then goes to voicemail, and it's like, this is your last opportunity to pay for your tax debt.
Yeah,
please call.
There are services that these scammers pay for that can direct their phone calls directly from their call center software straight to voicemail and bypass any ringing at all. So I'm sure you've all had that random voicemail that just shows up. You're like, my phone never rang. I never got a call. That's because somebody's probably paying for a service that directs it directly to your voicemail.
Yep. All right, Corey, what you got?
So many times you'll see something that looks real, a news event, something like that, or sometimes things with athletes that have done this or that or the other, and it seems true, and people share it, and it just spreads like wildfire. Any advice on how to avoid those things?
If it seems too good to be true, it is. It's that old adage really does work. There is a fantastic video about AI through the AARP. So I'm sure you're all familiar with the AARP. It is a legitimate business. They have a great website that has some really good AI suggestions about how to look at the particulars of a video or a advertisement and see if it's real or not. They have several different video clips on AARP's website. So if you go to their website and just type in AI, it will give you some really good tips about seeing if the audio matches up, like if the voice doesn't match up with the lips, or if someone doesn't blink, or different things that you can detect AI. So it's really good just to go to that and do some kind of research on your own. You will see all the time, like Oprah is sharing this, and you think, oh, this is legit. There's some good things on the AARP website too that can tell you a lot about that. The main thing I can say is if it's too good to be true, it is, and do some research. All you have to do is take that AI image, and then just there's actually on the AARP, they show you how to do a search to determine if it is fake news or if it's not real.
Well, and I would say, wouldn't you also, if it was something really earth-shattering, like a big news report, wouldn't you see that on multiple reputable news channels as well?
Like you were saying, I mean, if it's athlete related, you can go to ESPN because if it's important, they're going to have it, or CNN or Fox or
something with a big name. Yep.
I have a question about the vinelink.com/search OK person. I didn't hear anything about that, and I'm totally unfamiliar with it.
Sure. If that's for those phone calls you get, or the information you get that a loved one is in jail, and they're in jail and they need money and they need it right now and they need it for the bond. If you get those calls, hang up, just immediately hang up. Go to this VineLink website. VineLink is a website that is nationwide that will tell you if anyone is in jail anywhere. And you can type in that person's name. You can go to Oklahoma, or if they tell you it's California, you type in that person's name and it will tell you if they are in fact in jail, because it is updated. It is real-time updated where they're in jail at, and it'll have a phone number for that facility. So just call that facility. So,
okay, I'm gonna.
It is on. It's VineLink. It's on the paperwork, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it should be. Amy, where is it on that paper?
It's on the back of your handout that says important resources. It's a second link down.
The second link down.
It's vinelink.com with the /search.
I didn't see it.
Yes, it is. It's the actual bullet. That's why I didn't see it. It's that second bullet point. Okay, I think let's do one more question, because I know it's getting to be lunchtime. And then education partners, if you have not already, please go ahead and go to your tables. Okay.
Our main email address is getting lots and lots of junk mail. And I used to go and block every one of them. And I keep getting them anyway. He's won about 5 Rolex watches now.
Oh, that's exciting.
And is it even worth trying to block the email addresses?
Is it worth it to block those email addresses?
Hey, nowadays, not really. a lot of times, especially with the scammers, if you click the unsubscribe again, you don't want to click links, and so that'll take you somewhere, and then you're entering your email into another database, and so no, the best thing is to just kind of filter them. Make sure you've got junk email filters set up, and just kind of filter those out.
If you go and report it as junk or move to junk on your phone or your phone learns that email address should always go to junk, and one similar to that should go to junk.
Yeah.
And your question.
From your junk.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. And also, please know, yes, let's clap. Yep. They're going to hang around. Yeah, they're going to hang around for a minute. Okay. All right. So, right before we go, remember I think I'm supposed to remind you here. Yes, here we go. On the back of your yellow page, you can register for upcoming events. Please do that. Amy will get you, she will get you all signed up for that. Here's what I would really like for you to do. In school, thank you. In school, what did they always tell you to do first? Write your name on your paper, right, Chief? Yeah. Okay, so write your name on your paper, because we cannot answer your questions, sign you up for what you want to be signed up for, or connect you with the panelist or professional that you need to be connected with if you don't put your name on your paper. And if you want, you can even put your name tag down here at the bottom. If you don't want to write your name, you can do that. So please do that, and a member of my team will pick that up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys have been just absolutely phenomenal. Please hang around so that people can come and see you at your tables and ask you all of those questions, get the materials. Last note, and then I'll dismiss you. Senior Day at the Capitol is March 30th. So please participate in that. And then on February 9th, the Alzheimer's Association Capitol Day. So February 9th for Alzheimer's, March 30th, Senior Day at the Capitol. I want that to be, and we didn't get this early enough to put it on your handout. So this is not on your handout. Everything else is. The day is yours, and I'm so thankful for you. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Second, you got any questions here?